Yo, what's up, guys? You probably have seen it. Siege tournament. We did manage to win the Siege tournament. Once again, this is our second legend in Origin. And I am a little bit hangover because I have been drinking a little bit yesterday. In the end, I checked this morning. I was like, did I finish a whole liter of Bacardi yesterday? Not bad. Not bad. So, yeah, gonna talk you through all of the hits that I did. So, first of all, we had our first round, which was round 3 against Squad 0. For some reason, Countless always puts us up against Squad 0 the first round. And that's apparently how things happen. So, yeah, these are the hits that I did. There are a few hits that I have to keep hidden, so I won't be showing all of those at some point, but I will mention, like, what I kind of did not show and stuff. Well, I'm not going to explain exactly, but you get the idea. You get the idea. So yeah, in these, I think it's still like a lot of offenses that I do is Adriana based or LD based or Camilla based. I think that's the main thing with Siege right now. And the whole Siege meta at the moment was kind of stale, mainly because of the balance patch. Like balance patch for RTA at least made some small changes, like Cigar is kind of gone, like those kind of things. Nearly lost this to just the more, but yeah, for Siege, actually, nothing really happened. So it was really hard to get creative with offenses and defense in the first place. Well, not necessarily offenses. Offenses is kind of fine. Offenses are way too strong, but defense mainly. It's like, what is a good defense at the moment? Like, a lot of guilds were trying lamilas plus LDs. We did see that a decent amount. Sure, Sylvia's, that's what you always see. But net force, there were a lot of like things that like, okay, what is actually good? Like the thing which is a lot better about the tournament is where you can make the werewolves go for an S2 at the start, so that is both on Asher and the Vigor. And that definitely does give a little bit extras because, for example, Aftermath EU, they played with Vigors on the net force, and those were legit pretty difficult. There was also a net 4 that was a little bit less difficult, and there was this one, which was legit the oldest trick in the book. This is actually one of the offenses we used back in Doubt. And I completely, like, I forgot how to play this shit, so I started misplaying like crazy. You don't want to be sleeping. You want to be sleeping the cleanser. That's all you got to do. The only thing I slept was not the cleanser. Just like, yeah, that's not that smart. That's not that smart. I'll misplay this one. But in the end, this team is so freaking strong. I'm just going to speed this one up a little bit because it's just, you just have to constantly sleep the strip and still didn't do it. I think I figured it out after this in a second because I was like, yeah, the cleanse is annoying. No, still did not figure it out. I was sleepy. No, I figured it out, and then it's like, that's how I'm supposed to play it like this. It's like this was legit my dumbest hit ever. I could have hidden that, but no. Sometimes if I play dumb, I'll show you as well. I don't care. So yeah, this team is legit one of the oldest teams. Like I think we used this in Doubt when we got Legend. Yeah, we did use this in Doubt when we got Legend first time. And this is really one of those core teams that if you build a defense, you want to be countering exactly this. And how do you counter it? Either do too much damage or just AoE stuff that would screw you over. But Monte, ever since the nerf, is just not gonna cut it. This was a pretty interesting hit as well, using the Gyome. I think that other things than the Gyome would have done decent as well, but I just was looking for some kind of tank. That was the main thing. So yeah, it's just tanking that team, and then Assure is also this. Assure was actually on a crit rate 4, but that thing did do a lot more damage than I expected to do. My reaction was also like, how did that one shot like that? Wait, that was not supposed to do. I was legit surprised about it. But Guillaume, I haven't used it much in Siege, but altogether, I think it is a pretty decent unit. Wouldn't say it's necessarily like super OP and that kind of stuff, but it's definitely not a bad unit because he also has like a decent amount of damage. You mostly just build him full tank with a little bit of add damage, and then you're good to go from there. But in the end, the real deal on this whole team is still the Camilla. Camilla's just so incredibly strong for like tanking a bomb and stuff, no issues. And I had to wait with this hit because we had to do it on the proper timing. There were a lot of lamila defenses, and lamila defense, personally, for me, I felt that they were food as fuck because I can just Tiana outspeed them. And if I can Tiana outspeed them, anything is easy for me. That is the main thing. Like, I have a lot of options with that. I would say that Changpang by far is the safest and the cleanest of options, but Tiana mostly does do well. Fire Triss is maybe not as good against lamila, but you also could go just Poseidon or a bunch of other things. But then again, I would say that by far best is the Changpang at the moment. Yeah, this was also an interesting team. But look at that. I got like full credit on by that, what's it called, Liu Mei. And this team was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go in with all my RTA builds. Well, Molly was like a random build. This is RTA style of the units on the left and on the middle. And yeah, this was just like, I'm pretty sure this should work. I have a lot of extra glancing potential by the passes of these units. Sure, I do know that they don't stack, but even though, like, if one of them dies, the other one still kicks in. And with that, it's just really nice. The only awkward thing about this is that Sylvia's dark and will always start hitting on the light units, whereas you want them to hit on the Douglas kind of a little bit. So it's kind of like, how much do they actually hit on the Douglas? But in the end, they don't have any sustain. So Douglas should be winning this in the long run anyways. And it would even be the case that the two light units, let's say the Douglas dies, I think the two light units could still win because once again, they are just heavier sustainers. That just makes it a whole bit easier. That's just the main thing. So, yep, easy hit right there. And then a illusion hit. Actually, throughout the whole season, you can actually tap on your name somewhere, and then you can see what's the most won offense that you use at the most amount of times. And for me, it was actually a Jin Dove illusion. Anytime I hit to hit any net 4 in the normal season was always Jin Dove illusion, always. But it's not something I would really recommend to use in tournament setup. So actually, I think I didn't use that at all ever. So yeah, then another typical Sonya hits, which I currently have. I think I'm on 4 Sonyas and 1 Siri, and I got like 4 or 5 Adriana. So that's also one of those things like I can spam a lot. Like technically, if I just do a few Camilla hits, few LD hits, and then a few Adriana hits, I'm already at 10. Like Siege nowadays is pretty easy with that. But actually, during the finals, I couldn't use that many of those kind of hits at all, which was pretty interesting to see because they actually counted those pretty well. I just noticed that I did do it in reversed order because all of the 10 previous hits that you saw were from round 4, and this is round 3. Why? Don't ask me. It's just how it happened. So yeah, this is actually the round 3. So this is where we had to play Squad 0. And the previous hits that you saw were the ones from ISO that maybe someone pointed out already by seeing the names. So yeah, this is one of those random bruiser hits. I was like, I'm pretty sure that the firefighter Dom can kill this unit pretty fast and pretty quick. And just gonna work it from there. I've actually no clue what was the full idea behind this whole team, to be honest. Oh yeah, I think I just wanted to have Irene only do the 3rd skill on Akroma. Because I'm pretty sure she still goes by element, but I'm actually not 100% sure about it now to think about it. But in the end, it did work out because this Dawn was just built to hit hard on fire. It has, like, I have this one artifact that's 3 lines of additional damage and 1 roll extra in the HP, and then 19 damage on fire on top of that. So that's just a really good artifact. That thing smacks the living shit out of everything that has low base HP on fire, and it just works out for the firefighter Dom, as I would like to call it. So simple as that. So yeah, this is the first hit of the 3rd round against Squad 0 then. And then a hit with a Seimei. I mostly tend to go for Seimei the moment that I'm fighting Gizelle, because you make the armor break of Gizelle 1 turn, and you nearly kill it with a Feng Yang, because Feng Yang is stupidly OP. But besides that, you make the armor break 1 turn, but you also make the invisibility 1 turn. And the combination of that is just incredibly strong. So that's mostly my to-go unit if I'm fighting Gizelles. It's just insane. I would say in a lot of places, Seimei doesn't feel that crazy good compared to some other units to me. Like in a lot of cases, I feel like a Juno or a Varamos would do similar to Same or even a Tetra. But against Gizelles and also against Zeratus, that's the point where I'm really like, okay, this is where Seimei is like 100 times better than any of the other units that you could put next to it. So in this case, Gizelle, Seimei, simple as is. And in this case, I also had to change my Feng Yang a little bit and my Alaya a little bit, because normally they have legit 0 speed because I'm always placing them together with Leo. But in the case that I rune it like this, I just have to rerune a bit. I'm not going to be showing any of my runes on any of those units. Mainly because, well, gotta keep some stuff here. That's the main thing. I do have a different video where you could see like the general builds of all of my units, so in case you're more interested in those. That video is from a while back already, but that's just simply doing all my siege hits and then actually showing all of the runes. But in most cases, you can just see like this one, for example, high damage. Simple as that. Next one, high damage. That's all you need to know. Actually, that thing was properly tanky. I'm also not too sure about the speed tuning on that. Probably they wanted to go anti something if it was fully no will runes or so, but to be honest, this is just so much Adriana food that you would never hit anything else than some Adriana kind of hit on this, so therefore the Dark Monkey kind of useless. We saw a few guilds actually test Zenitsus on defense, but that thing was really bad. Like, from what we noticed is it's very common for the Zenitsu to just start spamming skill 4, because I think it's because of the elemental advantage or something, because that skill is the only skill that has elemental advantage. And, like, yeah, no one cares. Like, that's legit the thing. Coco in the end is fucking insane then, though, man. Like, Coco damage, like, fucking hell, man. 8k per hit? It's absolutely insane. But, yeah, also Zenitsu skill once. Zenitsu is really hard counted by a Leo that goes 6 times in a row. Now, Zenitsu is really hard counted by a Leo regardless. So, yeah, that's just one of those things that makes it really good. But, actually, I should be using more Coco. Coco is low-key really fucking good. Because look at the damage that you have over here from that Coco. Do I one-shot this? No, I don't one-shot it. If I did the S2 and I had a branding, it would have been a one-shot. That's arguably a tanky Asher. So that's just absolutely insane damage. And the cooldown on that third skill is kind of low at the moment. So it's actually pretty nice. But yeah, you could see that Zenitsu, it was not even remotely close to dealing any damage. We have seen some Zenitsus as like Leo counters, but the speed scaling on that unit is that much. Like, it's just casually hitting for 1.7k on the S1. Like, sure, I have the defense buff that helps out a little bit, and there's no death breaker shit, but it's just, that thing was dealing no fucking damage. I guess that this one was maybe also a little bit more tanky, but I didn't like any of the Zenitsus on defense, to be honest. And then more Adriana hits. Like I mentioned, I have a whole bunch of Adrianas. In this case, I actually went for a crit damage Sonya, because you still have the Byuncho passive you have to go through. And then if you have a crit damage Sonya, you're still hitting 77k and you insta one-shot it. The idea behind it. So that's the main thing. Like, if you hit a Byuncho, you would have to go crit damage. And it's very unlikely that they would go for some kind of death tank on a Byuncho, because then your Byuncho wouldn't do anything altogether. Plus, you have to death tank a attack buff, which is always really difficult. Then a hit that I like to... well, actually, this Viva Gel, I fought this Viva Gel a few times. And my idea behind this was, I have 3 units where 2 of them can strip and the other 2 can at least do a lot of damage on dots or regardless doing damage. And the thing is, a Viva Gel, you never really want to do any kinds of Leos against, because if Leo moves in front of Viva Gel switches the Leo, you're instant dead. So this thing was actually, Loki was a pretty bad hit for me. Like, I kind of sacked this one, to be honest. And then I kind of knew the speeds on it, at least I assumed the speeds on it. Weird thing was, however, that he was totally not in tune. So he was faster than me, but he always used skill 3. So I was like, wait, why is that thing even using skill 3 in the first place? That doesn't make that much sense to me. And then someone pointed out in the guilds, like, yeah, he probably set like skill 3 as first skill to use, because that is what you can do in guild. I'm like, ah, yeah, of course, that makes a lot of sense. So then I hit it also for a 3rd time, because I was like, okay, it's a 3rd skill, and it's always going to use the 3rd skill on my unit, and then I'm gonna be good from there. And I was like, wait, why did it not do the 3rd skill over there? I so expected him to do 3rd skill on the lowest attack bar unit, so on my Ian, and then Ian could insta one-shot his unit. That was my whole plan. Like, look at these shiny LDs, by the way, but that did not happen. Good thing that my Ian is still tanky enough where he actually did survive, but I was like, this is sketchy. I should not have been doing this. Also, at this point, the siege was pretty much already won, so I was toying around a little bit more than I would have normally done otherwise. But yeah, this is a pretty premium team right here, I would claim, especially if a Tianlang decides to go 4 turns in a row. Why do I always get RNG when the moment like a fight is already won, not when you need it all the way early on or something? I don't know. But yeah, RNG, sometimes gonna RNG, right? I also have 1 hit in the finals, and that was like the craziest RNG I've ever seen. It was not my hit, but one that I could be able to record. So, but I'll be showing that one later. They also did have this team, which is okay-ish on defense. Big issue is if you put a lot of HP on Joltan, and I've been farming giants for ages, so my energy runes are actually pretty legit. Like, the moment that the Leo May crits the Joltan, just see how much HP goes down. You just hit yourself for 8.7k HP. It's so stupid, man. Joltan is such a dumb unit, man. Like, oh yeah, you crit it again. Good luck, you nearly died. Fucking hell, man. And yeah, this was just a pretty easy hit altogether. That's actually a lot of hits with chillings, especially chilling with a light unit next to it. Moment you put Joltan against that, it's done for, man. It's hella done for. It's just way too much damage. Like a counter hit or the reflect hit of the Joltan actually did more damage than the tractor does on the skill 1. That just no, that doesn't make any sense. And from here it's just like a cleanup. The Platy wasn't on any kind of what's it called, crit rate itself, so therefore didn't do so. We had to wait for the tractor to actually kill things. Good old tractor. It's actually one of those units that he did get the 2A. He was already used before the 2A, and after the windy nerf, we haven't been using it too much, but here and there it's still a really good unit, so still gotta keep that one in. But I didn't really make more than one, I think. And then the final hit for this one. I did actually only show 9 hits on the round 4. This is the 10th hit of the round 3. And the other hit I couldn't show, but I did already, I did win that one as well. So in this case, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna reset the demon, and then I'm gonna be good from there, and I'm gonna keep up permanent immunity because I have a lot of, like, immunity and shit. So that was kind of the idea, but since he lapped me, I was like, okay, I have to reset the Claire rather than resetting something else. Simply because otherwise it would have maybe been like armor broken, demon could have done some decent damage and that kind of stuff. So for that reason, I went for a slight different rotation. And then the Claire was all, or what's her name? Is it Claire? Claire, that thingy. Thingy on the left was nearly dead already. So I was like, yeah, might as well just focus it. Plus, Dark Demon is just not really good. I would say Ian, or not Ian, what's his name? Lars on defense. It's not that bad. It has a lot of chances to get his attack bar in with the passive. If he were to always do S2, it would be a lot better. So in that case, I also did have a pretty tanky Wusa. Nearly died though. But in the end, we did survive. We did survive. But also, it wasn't really the cleanest of hits. Also, if the demon does use his S3 or like his S2 already, straight up kill it. Because the moment he comes back, he's never going to be doing his S2 because he doesn't have it on cooldown. So yeah, it's just weird, bad unit. It's just, I don't like it. Nice stun. We survived because of that stun. Was this a really good hit altogether though? No. I would not be recommending to use this. But once again, the siege was pretty much already won by this point. So I was like, yeah, let's go in for some creative weird shit for a change. And they also had creative weird shit on defense. So you kind of have to match the vibes some point on these a little bit, right? But yep, that's where you take it. And then demon best unit in game. So yeah, that is a 10-10 on this siege as well. I also did have a 10-10 in round 4. And now we go into the finals with Aftermath EU. They had a very creative net 5 defense. They actually used the Azure Sahat Kakano a lot. And yeah, this thing was actually really, really good. We did have a really good offense against it. It's not this one. This one was not really that crazy good in the end. It did look decent at this position. So it's like, yeah, this kind of works, but that one is dead. That was supposedly a tanky unit. Plus, the Kakana went right away back into the stance, so you can't really hard hit it with an S2. So I tried to provoke it, but yeah, every time, if he additional turns every time to get into the stance, that is kind of the annoying part. So in this case, yeah, where do you drop your damage? I was like, okay, just have to go for a bit of add damage on left. Killed it, nearly. So we have to kill on left. The Achroma was kind of built like my RTA Chroma. And yeah, it got pretty tricky over here. So that's where I was right away. It's like, okay, light tank ain't really the thing. At least Achroma ain't really the thing. We did have 2-3 other really good offenses against those. But those are unfortunate things that I can't show. Also, I had double resisted the moment that he was at 1 HP. Which I'm like, that's not helping. Those additional turns not helping. So in the end, was a little bit too close for comfort for the first round. But it was also, right at the start, it was also like, okay, we just have to take something. We just have to try something. And mostly I'm one of those kind of guys that are like, I'll just go in with like an LD and stuff like that. We did also have Sasson lamilas. Once again, I mentioned before, lamilas. In most cases, it's just, for me personally, Nefty's Tiana food, because it's just so simple. It's so simple. Then this hit was pretty creative. There was a Zeratu, and then after that, a Burgild. But because of that, and if you put a fire unit on your third slot next to a Seimei and a Clyde, all units will never actually hit on the fire unit. And I think I should have played a different fire unit, maybe something that snipes, like a Kali or something. I wasn't really too sure what to use. I was this close to going for a Daragon, but then I was like, yeah, that's maybe a little bit too in. But then I was like, wait, I'm dumb. Why am I hitting the Zeratu? And I only like figured it out a little bit later. Because the Zeratu is my healer. Like, I need that thing to heal me. Because Seimei by itself only heals when there's dots. So it's like, wait, why am I killing my healer when I have to fight a longer fight after that? I was like, that's not smart. And this is kind of where I realized that. So I'll speed this up a little bit because it's just a little bit back and forth. It was like, yeah, I actually, after the revive, I have to start killing something else because this was the point. It's like, wait, am I going to be dying right now because I can't actually heal? Because the Tyrannies in the end, those kind of Tyrannies in most cases are kind of high on damage. So it's like, okay, should not kill the Zeratu right now. I should kill something else because I need that healing. So in this case, it was a little bit close. If he did additional turn right there, oh no, wait, did I actually kill it? Yeah, I killed it because if he went for another turn, well, in this case, I think I left it alive here, but could have definitely played this one better. I should have played this one better. So in the end, I do get my wins, but there's still a lot of things I'm like, could have played better, could have played better. I'm not the biggest, like, 5-head mind for Siege, but I definitely do my part because in the end, so far we're on all on victories because I haven't lost one yet. I haven't lost any of them yet. So yeah, this one in the end, I think I could have went for a better unit maybe than Carcano as well, but I couldn't really figure out like what kind of dark unit I felt was fitting better. But then again, next one that I have is actually a similar team, or I think even the same team, but it was on a special tower. And you know what the special tower was? Attack bar increasing and decreasing doesn't work. We were looking at it like, so if I do skill 3 right here, I take a turn and Burgle does nothing. What the fuck are these guys doing? I was like, that doesn't make that much sense, sir. And that is very food right there. I was like, they actually had 2 of those Burgles in no attack bar increasing and decreasing special towers. Like, sorry, that's like, I guess everyone make mistakes. Like, I had a few kind of misplays before. They had a misplay over here. Let's call it that way. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting one right there. But if you Oblivion it, Hero Strike, insta-kill it. So yep, easy victory right there. And this was the most fun hit of the whole tournament. So this was Dotless trying to Lucian. But you already see like all on shield sets. And if you check the first hit goes for 10k and then it's 21k. That's a lot of shield sets. So the things actually did live with like a sliver of health. They're like, he done for, but we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. Can you imagine? We're not dead yet. Watch this. You're gonna like this one. So stun on the Zeratu. Okay. Another stun on the Zeratu. Heals up. Goes for the S2. Stuns them more. Like, okay. Gets hit. Dies off. Still invisibility. Research on self. Tried to get another stun, didn't get the stun over there, but at least can do some damage to it. Zeratu is healing in the meantime as well, where you're like, not sure. So there's a revive. That revive is only 4.9k HP, keep that in mind. Then there was glancing debuff on the Moor. So because of the glancing debuff, the Lucian actually gets triple glanced and lives with 1 HP. So he boosts up the Lucian, doesn't have any skills of 1 unit. The Gizelle starts targeting the wrong thing. He actually, he doesn't kill it right there, and then he wins. So he was like, was very safe. Do that again. It's like, that was the most crazy hit we've seen all Siege, man. That thing was fucking insane. And actually, sadly enough, there were 5 hits that I couldn't show. That's how creative we had to get for the offenses, because they had a tower with Sylvia's, Adriana's, and Odin's. That one was pretty good. They also had a lot of these Ashiers with Carcanos and what's it called? Sahats, which we did fight in the first round, or like the first match that it showed on this one. But we had a way better offense against it at some point, and that one we didn't want to share, so I'm not sharing that. And then also the Net Force, they had Dark Siri, Emily, which is the light cannon girl, and then Vigor, which was definitely pretty strong as well, because some of them were like super tanky, other ones had like Vigor on super high speed. And it was definitely a pretty good team. That's one of those teams that you can fit a lot of rune quality in and do a lot of work on that. We had a few offenses against those as well, but couldn't share any of those. So in the end, Origin, we did win. But you can see how freaking close it was. Like, up until pretty much the very end, we weren't really sure if we're gonna win, because at some point we were over here at this point, and what we had exactly 10 hits left. And what we wanted to do was to take the 12 and take the 4, but we could only do that if everyone won. Then they put the Adriana, Sonia, or the Adrianas with Sylvia's and Odin's in the 12, and one person lost. So we only had 9 hits. And then the only thing we could actually do was take this 4, which actually was going to get cut off later by this 12 as well, because they took this 12 later on. And yeah, we were just like, okay, fuck it. Yeah, this point, there was at this point. So at this point, we took that 12. Was it? Yeah, and then they retook that as well to cut this thing off. But that 12, because we couldn't kill that right away. Otherwise, we would have probably taken the 4 and that 12 then, because that would have been better. But in the end, we were victorious. And this is the second title that Origin got. So definitely nice. And I do think there's probably more to come. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video and definitely see you in the next one. And if my energy level was a little bit low, that was a hangover. Guys, thanks so much for watching and see you later.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.